You and I.
Fine girl from Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Laura Tapiwa. If you're joining me for the first time, I hope by the end of this video you like me enough to subscribe. And if you're joining me for the second, third, fourth, I don't know how many times you've been here, hey cousin, because we're all family here. So as you can tell by the title of this video, today I'm going to be sharing with you 5 tips of how to deal with anxiety. I decided to shoot this video because last week, as you guys saw, I didn't upload a video. Last week I was going through the most, guys. I feel like I was spiraling out of control. I was having breakdowns at work. I was having breakdowns at home. I was fighting with my people, not because anything specific was wrong, but because I just was all over the place. So I decided to help someone else because I feel like maybe I'm not the only one that goes through episodes where your anxiety is at its peak and things are just looking sideways for you. So I decided, you know what, let me just help a sister or a brother and share with you 5 tips on how to deal with anxiety. So without wasting most of your time, let us get straight into the video. So the first tip I have for you is clean your environment. This is a very important tip because I'm a firm believer in that your space plays a huge role in your mental health. By your environment, I mean where you spend most of your time. If you spend most of your time at work, clean up your desk. Throw away papers you don't need. Make it look pretty. Nice. If you spend most of your time at home, if you spend most of your time in your room or in the lounge, whatever, just clean. On the day that you're feeling out of this world and your anxiety is at its peak, you want to cry, you have emotions, everyone is annoying you, clean your environment. I feel like every time I clean my space, I feel better already. So I usually clean my space and burn some incense. It works well for me. Some sage and lavender or rose, whatever. But I feel like you should clean your environment. Clean it and just, it's like that feeling when you're coming home from work after a long day and you get home to a made bed. That's the best feeling. So that's how you feel when you clean your environment. Pack your drawers, pack your everything. And when everything is looking in order, you kind of are back to sanity. That's tip number 1. If that doesn't work, we move on to tip number 2, which is listen to some music. We all like different things, so we all have different things that we relate to. I usually listen to some gospel music. That works because once you start singing along, you start crying and you get to that place where you feel like, okay, God is with me, and you feel better after you cry, obviously. And when you feel like, because usually when my anxiety is at its peak, I kind of feel alone, no one understands me. Even if people do understand me, you can't explain these things. I feel alone, no one understands me, I feel lost, confused. So when I listen to some gospel music, it helps. You can go a step further and listen to a podcast. Sometimes when my anxiety is at its peak, I listen to some trap music. Because, when I'm listening to some trap music, you kind of reminded how bad you are. And you're like, yes, why am I even going through this? It's not worth it. So just listen to music that uplifts you. And music plays a big role in your mental health as well. So you should watch what you listen to all the time. Because you find that when you listen to sad music, even if you're not sad, you kind of end up sad. Because you're like, start thinking about, so music plays a huge role. So when you're in that space where your anxiety is peak and things aren't going well for you, be very aware of what you're listening to. Don't go into sad music, Mariah Carey, Mary J. Blige. Don't go into hip hop. Listen to something that will make you laugh, something that will uplift your spirit. Watch some comedy. Do something about it. Yes. Number 3 is pray. Pray. I feel like when you pray, you feel a lot better. If you're not a person that prays all the time and you are in this space, kneel down and tell God, talk to God how you want to. But anyway, and tell God, I don't know what to say. I really need you. And because what I believe is that God already knows. All he's waiting for you is to come to him. So when you then go to him and tell him, I don't know what to say, I don't know what to do, but I need you. All you have to do is admit and say, I need you to come into my life. And that's enough prayer. God will come into your life. Take some time to listen to God. Because usually when we're going through phases like this, we want to talk. So take some time to listen to what God has to say. Sometimes your answer won't come in a day or your anxiety won't end in a day, but be calm. take some time to listen to what God has to say to you. And your answers will usually come from, some people dream about it. Someone at work tomorrow might say to you, oh, address your issue without you knowing. You might be driving, you might see, how you usually just are paying at the till and then something happens and you like related to a spiritual and you're like, oh yeah. So when you're going through this phase, tell God that you need him in your life and say, I'm ready to receive you, and take time to listen to what God has to say. Don't ignore the signs. If it's about a job, your family, whatever, don't ignore the signs God is showing you, because that's how your anxiety keeps peaking. God shows you a sign, you ignore it. Tomorrow you're in the same place, he shows you a sign, you ignore it. So your anxiety keeps peaking because instead of you listening to what God is saying, you want things to go your way. You're not listening to what God wants you to do because that's not what you would do. You understand? So anxiety keeps peaking because you get the sign, you're like, no, it can't be it. You keep doing the same thing, you get the sign, no, it can't be. So you keep going back to that same place and like, listen to God, trust God, and move. The fourth thing I can say is rest. Sometimes we have our anxiety peaking because we haven't slept. It's a very basic thing. It's a very basic, sleep, guys. Some of you guys are insomniacs and you do not sleep. Get some chamomile tea after you've cleaned your environment, play some music in the background and go to sleep. You will feel so much better, because when you don't rest, you become cranky throughout the day. I felt with me, that also played a role in what I was going through because I hadn't slept. I had been working 2 weekends. This is actually my first weekend resting, and that was just a lot for me. So I hadn't rested. So clean your room, burn some incense, listen to some music, pray, and get some sleep. When you wake up, you will feel better. Drink some chamomile tea. If you're a person that struggles to sleep, force yourself to sleep, guys. You literally can't close your eyes and not sleep in 2 hours. If you don't sleep in 2 hours because you're paying attention to your phone, you're paying attention to what's happening around you, play some music, not some trap music that you're going to want to sing along to. Play some music that will calm you down, some gospel music. Read a book. If you're a person that falls asleep reading, read a book. But get some rest. For me, I would join this with some exercise. Go to the gym or just go for a jog and then get some rest. Because I feel like usually when sometimes some of this anxiety is let out when we exercise. Guys, there's no better session that you can have in the gym than when you're having a bad day. You're even like, nah, let me lift 50 kgs, and it feels so good. Because for me, it's a situation where that gym pain, I feel like I'm pushing myself, and somehow the more I see my body doing things because when I'm having a bad day, I tend to push myself. So when I'm like, oh my God, my body can do this, and it's a good feeling for me. And when you burn some fat, or when you just go to the gym or you go for a jog, you feel better. So if you're a person that does not do this, try it out. If you're having a bad day, go for a jog, go lift some weights, just do something, or rest. But this goes hand in hand. Exercise will do good for your mental health. In that note, this is still tip number 4, guys. I haven't moved. In that note, exercise goes hand in hand with what you eat. Sometimes we have anxiety peaking because of the food we take. I feel like if you're always taking junk food and all that, of course your mental health is going to be messed up because your body is not healthy. You need to have a healthy body to have a healthy mind. A healthy mind, healthy body, healthy soul, healthy spirit, everything. So sometimes, eat healthy. Get a salad, girl. Drink some water, Sometimes you're not hydrated enough. Sometimes you haven't had a fruit in a month. Your body's trying to tell you that, we're tired of chips. We are tired. So eat something healthy. Exercise and get some rest. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to your body. Love your body. When your body feels that love that you're giving it, you will feel better. The last tip and most important tip on dealing with your anxiety is talk to someone. Talk to someone. At this stage in our lives, not at this stage, in your life, you need to have that one friend, that one person, family member, whoever, that will keep your secrets. At the same time, you can tell everything. When I was going through the most, everybody was annoying me. I was fighting with everybody, guys. But the love of my life, Christine, shout out to you. Oh, I shouldn't have mentioned your name because, people nosy. But shout out to you. Literally, that was my go-to. in that moment. Sometimes, not every time, she's my go-to, but in that moment, she is the place I felt safest. And I talked to her. I told her everything. The reason I would say talk to someone is because when you talk to someone, you find the root of your problem. That's if you don't know it. Because usually this four first stages are when you know what your problem is, right? This fifth one is when you're just having anxiety and you can't pinpoint where it's coming from. When you talk to someone, they will tell you why you're having anxiety. For me, I figured out that I'm a person that likes my space. I like to be alone. So my sister came to visit now, so now she's in my room. And guys, I like my things a certain way. So I was so frustrated coming from work, and it was not that way. It would just put me in the wrong space. But I've learned to adjust and good now. But I'm saying that find the root of your problem. So go to someone, talk to someone. If you find that you're always in this space where you constantly want to cry, you constantly, guys, when you have that thing stuck on your throat, when you're constantly in that space, you want to break down. Sometimes you're suicidal. Sometimes I have days. I can't talk on the intensity of being suicidal because some people have it worse. But I have had days where I was less like, if I was gone, I wouldn't be having these problems. It's not now, but I've had my days in the past, like some years ago. But I'm saying that if you find yourself in this space where you feel like if you were not there, people would be better or you wouldn't have to deal with it, go to a professional. Get professional help. Find a psychologist, therapist, whatever, and talk to them. They will help you so much in dealing with this. I was researching how much it costs here in South Africa, and I figured it's like $9.50 per session, which is a tad bit expensive if you're gonna need a lot more sessions. But I figured it's only expensive because there are very few people that actually go, so they have to keep their prices high so that they make a living. They have to take care of kids and families. So we need to normalize this. Go and see a therapist, go and see a professional. What they will help you with is identifying where your anxiety is stemming from. And once you know where your problem is coming from, it will be very easy for you to deal with it and you will overcome your anxiety. My people perish because of lack of knowledge. When you're just feeling this way and you do not know where it's coming from, you will have a bad life. Figure out your problem, whether it's childhood trauma, or whatever. Figure out where your problems are coming from and deal with them. Go and see a therapist. So I hope this video is longer than I thought. I thought it was going to be like a 7-minute video. But anyway, I hope these 5 tips help someone. And I hope you find ways to deal with anxiety. If you have other ways you deal with your anxiety, please share with us in the comment section. You could be helping someone. And if you're currently going through something in this phase, just know that everything will be okay. You will be fine. Talk to someone, find a friend. And just know that God is with you, God loves you, and the world still needs someone like you. Make sure you get better so that you can testify and tell us your story in the future and help someone else. Bye.